What happens when the notorious parrot catcher stumbles upon a secret rebellion led by the very creatures she hunts? Welcome to the Parrot Rebellion, a calming sleep tale of the parrot catcher's journey to redemption. In this soothing sleep story, you'll follow the transformative journey of Elara, a skilled parrot catcher who discovers a hidden world where parrots are fighting for their freedom. As you unwind and relax, you'll be immersed in a captivating tale that explores the power of redemption, compassion, and the unbreakable bond between humans and the animal kingdom. Once upon a time in a small coastal town, there lived an eccentric parrot catcher named Elara. She had an uncanny ability to understand and communicate with parrots. They were drawn to her as if by magic, and she became famous for her gift. This gift not only made her the most sought-after parrot catcher in the region, but also attracted the curiosity of ornithologists and bird enthusiasts from far and wide. One day, a wealthy businessman, Mr. Thompson, who had recently moved into town, approached Elara with a peculiar request. He had a rare and valuable African gray parrot named Jasper, which had escaped its lavish cage and could not be found. Desperate to recover his prized pet, Mr. Thompson offered a handsome reward for the bird's safe return. Sensing that this mission would not be as straightforward as her previous ones, Elara accepted the challenge with an air of intrigue. As she ventured into the dense forest, armed with her trusty bird-catching net and a keen sense of determination, Elara came across a group of parrots. They flocked around her, chirping excitedly as if relaying a message. With her innate connection to the birds, Elara could sense that they were trying to tell her something important. She listened intently and deduced that Jasper was being held captive by a mysterious figure in a hidden part of the forest. The following day, Elara ventured deeper into the woods, following the guidance of her newfound avian friends. Along the way, she encountered various challenges, from navigating treacherous terrain to deciphering cryptic messages left by the enigmatic captor. The journey led her to an ancient abandoned aviary, overgrown with ivy and hidden beneath the thick forest canopy. As Elara stealthily approached the aviary, she noticed the iron bars were rusted, and the once vibrant paint had faded away. The entire structure seemed to be reclaimed by the wild, as vines and ivy wrapped themselves around every nook and cranny. A chorus of excited chattering grew louder as she drew nearer, indicating the presence of a large group of parrots. With her heart pounding in her chest, Elara carefully peered through a small gap between the twisted vines. She was astonished by what she saw. The aviary was brimming with parrots of every color, size, and species. They perched on branches, engaged in animated conversations, and took part in what appeared to be organized meetings. At the center of it all was Jasper, the African gray, commanding the attention of his fellow birds. Elara listened intently, trying to make sense of the cacophony of chirps and squawks. As she focused, she began to understand the gravity of the situation. Jasper was not a captive, but was, in fact, the leader of a secret parrot rebellion. The parrots had grown tired of being captured and sold as exotic pets, treated as mere commodities for human amusement. They had chosen Jasper, with his cunning intelligence and silver tongue, to champion their cause. Elara observed as Jasper delivered impassioned speeches, rallying the parrots to reclaim their freedom and fight back against the oppressive trade that had haunted their kind for centuries. His words resonated with the birds, who responded with fervent agreement and determination to take control of their own destinies. It was clear that Jasper had earned their respect and trust, and they looked to him for guidance and inspiration. In addition to his charismatic leadership, Jasper had also managed to establish a sophisticated network of communication amongst the parrots. They had developed a code language, using a combination of squawks, chirps, and body language to relay information and coordinate their efforts. This allowed them to stay one step ahead of the parrot catchers and smugglers, making it nearly impossible for anyone to infiltrate their ranks. Elara realized that the parrots had formed a well-organized resistance movement with Jasper as their mastermind. The rebellion's primary objective was to disrupt the parrot trade and secure the freedom of their fellow birds. They sought to educate and empower parrots to resist capture and evade the clutches of their human pursuers, ultimately creating a world where they could live freely and without fear. As she took in this astonishing scene, Elara's heart swelled with compassion for the parrots and their cause. She watched as the birds worked together in perfect harmony, fueled by a common goal, the pursuit of freedom and justice. Each feathered creature had its own story of pain and loss, having been ripped from their natural habitats and forced into a life of captivity. The weight of their collective suffering was palpable, and Elara couldn't help but be deeply moved. She knew that she could no longer serve as a parrot catcher, knowing the suffering and injustice that it perpetuated. The thought of returning another parrot to a cage or separating it from its family was unbearable to her. As she stood there, Elara felt a profound shift within herself. The woman who once hunted these beautiful creatures now found herself on the precipice of joining them in their fight for a better life. Elara took a deep breath, mentally preparing herself for the decision that would change the course of her life. She approached Jasper and with a resolute voice offered to join their rebellion and use her unique abilities to aid them in their quest for freedom and justice. Jasper, sensing her sincerity and genuine desire to help, cautiously accepted her offer. The parrots were initially wary of Elara, unsure if they could trust the very person who had once hunted them. However, Elara's unwavering commitment to their cause and her innate ability to communicate with the birds eventually won them over. They embraced her as an ally, teaching her their code language and sharing valuable insights into their way of life. Together, Elara and the parrots devised a plan to not only sabotage the parrot trade, but also to rescue those still trapped in captivity. She utilized her knowledge of the parrot-catching business to identify key players and expose their illegal activities. With the help of her avian comrades, Elara orchestrated daring rescue missions, liberating countless parrots from their gilded prisons. As word of their success spread, Elara became a symbol of hope for parrots everywhere. Her transformation from a feared parrot catcher to a tireless advocate for their freedom was nothing short of remarkable. Parrots from all corners of the world flocked to join the rebellion, bolstering their ranks and strengthening their resolve. Through Elara's selfless dedication to their cause, the parrots began to see a future where they could live free from the chains of captivity. No longer just the parrot catcher, Elara had become a beacon of hope, inspiring parrots and humans alike to strive for a world where all creatures could coexist in harmony, free from suffering and injustice. Through a series of clever ruses and well-planned operations, Elara and the parrots meticulously devised a plan to expose Mr. Thompson's illegal parrot smuggling ring, which had been operating under the guise of his legitimate business. They knew that their actions needed to be carefully orchestrated to ensure the safety of the parrots and to avoid arousing suspicion. First, Elara and Jasper created a network of parrot informants, using her unique ability to communicate with the birds to gather crucial information on Mr. Thompson's activities. The parrots, now more organized than ever, acted as covert agents, eavesdropping on conversations and observing Mr. Thompson's associates as they went about their nefarious business. Next, Elara infiltrated Mr. Thompson's organization, posing as an interested buyer. This allowed her to get close to the inner workings of the smuggling ring, gaining the trust of key members while collecting valuable evidence. She meticulously documented their dealings, tracking shipments, and identifying the international buyers who fueled the illegal trade. Meanwhile, the parrots played their part by staging a series of daring escapades, freeing their caged brethren and disrupting the smugglers' operations. They cleverly orchestrated these incidents to appear as accidents or the result of incompetence, all the while gathering intelligence on the smuggling ring's infrastructure. With their evidence in hand, Elara and the parrots initiated the final phase of their plan. They leaked the incriminating information to the local press, who, sensing a major scandal, pounced on the opportunity to expose the truth. The news sent shockwaves throughout the town, as residents were horrified to learn of the dark underbelly that had existed beneath the surface of their quiet community. As the story gained traction, law enforcement agencies became involved, launching a full-scale investigation into Mr. Thompson's activities. The evidence that Elara and the parrots had collected proved to be irrefutable, painting a damning picture of the smuggling ring and its operations. With no room for doubt, the authorities moved swiftly to apprehend Mr. Thompson and his associates. Facing a litany of charges, Mr. Thompson's once sterling reputation crumbled, and he was swiftly brought to justice. His smuggling ring was dismantled, and those who had profited from the cruel trade were held accountable for their actions. The town, still reeling from the shocking revelations, vowed to ensure that such exploitation would never again take root within their community. Thanks to the tireless efforts of Elara and the parrots, the illegal parrot smuggling ring had been exposed, and the once untouchable Mr. Thompson had been brought to justice. Their carefully executed plan had not only saved countless parrots from a life of captivity, but also set the stage for lasting change in the way these remarkable creatures were treated and protected. In the aftermath of their successful rebellion, Elara and Jasper sought to build upon their hard-fought victory by forging an alliance between humans and parrots. They believed that a brighter future could only be achieved through mutual understanding and cooperation. Thus, they embarked on a mission to create a sanctuary where parrots could live freely without fear of capture, while also fostering greater empathy and respect for these extraordinary creatures among the human population. Elara and Jasper worked tirelessly to bring their vision to life. They secured a large swath of land, nestled in the heart of the lush forest where the rebellion had begun, as the site of their sanctuary. With the help of dedicated volunteers and the support of the local community, they transformed the once abandoned aviary into a thriving refuge for parrots of all species, complete with spacious habitats, abundant food sources, and ample opportunities for socialization and enrichment. As the sanctuary grew, Elara continued to use her unique abilities to communicate with the parrots, fostering a culture of trust and understanding between humans and their avian allies. She worked with the parrots to develop educational programs designed to teach humans about the importance of parrot conservation and the unique challenges these intelligent creatures faced in the wild. Through these efforts, the sanctuary became not only a safe haven for parrots, but also a beacon of hope for a more compassionate world. In recognition of her unwavering dedication to the welfare of her feathered friends, Elara renounced her title as the Parrot Catcher and became known as the Parrot Protector. Her days of capturing and selling parrots were long behind her, replaced by a newfound purpose: to protect and nurture these remarkable beings, ensuring they could live the lives they deserved. And so, the story of the parrot catcher's secret came to a triumphant end. The once feared parrot catcher had transformed into a compassionate guardian, dedicating her life to the welfare of her feathered friends. The parrots of the region, once hunted and exploited, now found solace in their sanctuary, where they could finally spread their wings and fly high, free from the shadows of captivity. The sanctuary flourished under Elara's watchful eye, becoming a shining example of the power of redemption and the beauty of a world where humans and parrots could coexist in harmony. And as the sun set each day over the sanctuary, casting its golden light upon the canopy of trees, the joyful songs of the parrots filled the air, a testament to the enduring bond between Elara, the parrot protector, and the birds she had once hunted but now called her family.